you're under construction. And that's a good thing. Why? Because that means God is upgrading you. See, a lot of times when God is upgrading you, when he's in a process to upgrade you, when he's in a process to bless you real good, the enemy will throw thoughts at you, okay? And make you look at what God is doing in a warped way. And that's what God said, pull all those thoughts into captivity under his obedience, right? And when you do that, then you'll be able to move forward and appreciate the process of you being under construction. It may look like you in a place of despair. It may seem like you've been left alone. It may seem like nobody understands. It may seem like God has forgotten about you, but you must understand that you are just under construction. Y'all, a few months or so back, there was this gas station. It was a small gas station. I think it's called Circle K. Real small. Looked like a mom and pop Circle K. Looked like it could only hold about 4 people to gas up, right? Small store. And I remember my daughter and I, we were passing by it one day, and we saw all these big cranes and these things, and it was tearing it down. I said, oh, wow, they must have gone out of business, because I was thinking they were small. And so a few months later, after the land was cleared, we then saw a sign that said, coming soon. I said, oh, I wonder what's next. What they going to put there? The Circle K was, I wonder what they're going to put there. But guess what? The coming soon sign turned into a sign that said, Circle K again. And I said, that's weird. It was already a Circle K. But then when they got to doing the construction, I realized the size of the building was double the size than the Circle K that it was before. Then I realized where they were pumping gas, it not only was able going to hold 4 people, but it could hold at least 10 to 12 cars, right? To gas up, which means what? It was Circle K, still Circle K, but it had been what? Upgraded. And we just had to be patient while it was under construction. See, from the natural eye, it'll seem as if all hope is gone, as if all is lost. But you better get to seeing the way your Father sees. When God is doing a thing in you, by you losing your job may seem like a bad thing, but in God's eyes, he's upgrading you to something better. Did you hear me? Your car might have got repoed, okay? But listen, you better look through God's eyes and see that God is upgrading you to something better. That husband or that wife might have just left you, divorced you, but you better look through God's eyes and see that God is about to upgrade you to something better. Do you hear what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying now? Huh? You sure you understand? You sure you understand? The doctor might have came to you with a report saying you got this, that, and the other. But you better look through God's eyes and know that he's upgrading you to a better health. Do you understand me? You're under construction. That's all it is. God is upgrading you. So you might as well relax. Do not take in the thoughts of the enemy. Do not allow the serpent's tongue to whisper in your ear. Instead, you begin to listen to what God said. God said his sheep know his voice. So you better listen to what God said, that he will exalt the humble. You've been humble over there. You have. You've been humble. And God said he will exalt the humble. And so you just under construction so that God will what? Exalt you. And when God exalts you, he does like Jesus said. Jesus told God, he said, God, glorify your son so that your son may glorify you. And that's all God is getting you ready for. He's exalting you, putting his glory on you so you can get a glory back to him. So when people see you, they say, girl, how'd it happen? Man, how'd it happen? He said, nobody but God. Nobody but God. And they'll say, we thought all hope was lost. We thought you, girl, we thought you lost your job, girl. We heard about the divorce. And they see you blinging a new ring. You said, no, girl, God upgraded me. He upgraded me. Are you listening to me? So no matter what it looks like, no matter what it sounds like with the serpent's tongue, make sure you are seeing through God's eyes. Do not allow the enemy to put scales over your eyes. Remember Saul? Remember Saul? Remember, God had to blind him. In other words, show him his darkness where he was operating out of, that wickedness that he was operating out of. And then God said, I'm going to send Ananias to you. And when Ananias prayed for Saul, it said the scales fell off. What were those scales? The scales were the reflection of what the enemy sees about you. And God is saying this, please don't allow the enemy to put scales on your eyes. Only see the way your Father sees. Be the reflection of who your Father is. God is all great, almighty. Therefore, you are all great, almighty. Why? Because greater is you, that greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. Greater is God that's in you. So listen, see the way your Father sees. Be his reflection. And keep thanking God while you're under the construction. Don't be over there murmuring and complaining. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you're just in a process to get upgraded. Won't you feel silly if you over there complaining to God about this, that, and the other? Then he say, ta-da, it was a surprise. But you was complaining so much, you ruined the surprise. Don't ruin your surprise. Stay excited. Get excited no matter how bad it looks with your physical eyes. No matter how bad it sounds with your physical ears. No matter what the gossip is around town about you. No matter what your co-workers are saying about you. Don't worry about that. God says what? Any tongue that rises up against you in judgment, you condemn it. Condemn the lies. If you condemning the lies, if you condemning the tongue of the serpent, then you should be in a great attitude right now. I'm already at 6 minutes. I'm going to try not to make this too long. But listen, I want you to understand that you just need to relax over there, because you're only under construction to be upgraded, okay? You got it good? You're only under construction to get upgraded. So be grateful. Thank God. He's about to double your size. He's about to do what? Enlarge your territory. Like I said, you have been humbled. Some of y'all have humbled yourselves. You've been praying. You've been seeking his face. You turn from your wicked ways. God said he heard you. He's forgiven you of your sin. And now he's healing your land. Laying down new what? Foundation. And now he's building on top of that. And he's going to show you what he's been building. For what eye haven't seen, ear haven't heard, your heart have not even imagined of what God has done for you. What he has prepared for you. Don't ruin it by murmuring and complaining. Don't ruin it by having an ugly spirit, okay? Don't have that spirit of ugly where you look ugly, act ugly, and thinking ugly. Don't be that. Don't be like that. Just know God got you covered. He's upgrading you. He's preparing that table before you in the presence of your enemy. You're under construction because God is upgrading you, okay? Be happy. It's all worked out. Everything is worked out. It's good. It's all good in God's neighborhood. Aren't you in God's habitation? God's habitation is where you live. So God's habitation, who God is, that's your neighborhood. And it's all good in God's neighborhood. Just stay in his habitation, trusting in him and abiding in him. And I'm telling you, this construction that you're under, you're going to see what God has been building all along. And everybody's going to be like, oh my God. We never thought. We would have never imagined. Did you hear about so-and-so and so? How they are? What they have? What level they own now? That's going to be the talk of the town. That's going to be the talk of the states. That's going to be the talk of the countries about you. About you, what God has planned for your life. Because God said his plan is to prosper you and to give you an expected end. And when God gives you an expected end, you better know everybody going to be talking about it. Including with those who have hurt you because they were being used by the enemy. You're going to be the talk of the town. And it's going to be a good talk. And guess what? Ain't nobody going to be able to do it. Reverse what God has blessed. I'm almost at 9 minutes. I hope y'all got this. Relax. You're under construction. You're being upgraded. Listen, if you didn't get this thing, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have to smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. Y'all know what's coming next.